Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So with the success of last week's video where we went through a couple of treasure hunter items worthwhile in price and going up in price as well, I've decided to have a little bit of a delve into some more treasure hunter items and just highlight what they're currently are in terms of price because I missed them off last week, as well as a couple of items which are very useful to make sure to use over the next couple of months to get the most from them. Now some of these items you can use for GP, or you can also use them for XP as well. So we've got a fair few to go through in terms of this episode, so let's go and get started. Now, the two ones I missed out last week, which can be sort of traded or sold for some GP, are the Magic Notepaper and Slayer wildcards. Now, the Slayer wildcard ones can also branch out to task-specific cards. So like you see here, I have Nightmare, I have Lost Grove creatures, Abyssal creatures, Greater Demons, Living Wyverns, and then also Stalker creatures as well. But you do have ones which can be generic and be used for any task possible. Now, these had quite a crazy ride towards the sort of removal of Treasure Hunter. They went down a lot, but these can be an item which can be very useful if you want to just train Slayer your own way, and they have gone up quite a lot since then. They did have a bit of a crash before Christmas, kind of like all the Treasure Hunter items, but it does seem at the minute they are very, very expensive. So the actual OG Slayer wildcard, which you can use on any task, is currently valued at 142,000 coins each, and basically what these do, for every monster you kill off task, you will receive Slayer XP, but you're going to lose one of these wildcards. So it's a very, very expensive way to train Slayer, but it does give you the accessibility to train Slayer however you want. However, I do think as well with some of these wildcards, there are the chance to go and get some deals if there's certain monsters you really want to go and sort of camp and do. But there are some which are very, very expensive. The Abyssal creature in particular is very expensive at nearly 91,000 coins. And again, you'll get some which are cheap, you'll get some which are really expensive. In my opinion, it's just not worth doing. If you follow my kind of Slayer videos before where I sort of mentioned camping the Slayer masks, rotating between them every single day just so you can farm points, and then when you want to, you can then go and power slay and you've got a decent stack of Slayer points to sort of go and pick your own tasks. You don't really need Slayer wildcards, but again, these can be sat in your bank and these could be worth a hefty amount. Now, I'm pretty sure I got these 100 Slayer wildcards off one drop of Treasure Hunter, and currently they're valued at 14.2 mil. And you could have a massive stack of these in your bank, so make sure to go and check them out. And if you don't want them, if you're not going to use them, sell them on the Grand Exchange. These are kind of similar to the other items where they could possibly go up, but I'm a little bit more nervous about these compared to the rest because you never know what's going to happen with Slayer and updates with Slayer, and whether these wildcards are going to be necessarily fully usable or useful in the future. Now, the other item which we forgot to mention was Magic Notepaper, which I can't believe I forgot Magic Notepaper. It already is a little bit expensive compared to where it used to be before Christmas, very similar to the others, had a crash, but 761 GP is really good. Now, through all the events, all the dailies, monthlies, and all that sort of stuff, there is a untradeable version of Magic Notepaper, which definitely use that before you touch any form of tradable magical notepaper. This is an interesting one because magical notepaper, in my opinion, has so many uses in the game currently that I would hope this would go up over future, but in the game, there is currently a way to actually make notepaper through invention. It does require a lot of either dungeoneering tokens or some form of elite dungeon reward to go and get access to be able to create untradeable magical notepaper, but there is a way to do it in the game, so maybe that's what's going to hamper it as well. Maybe this is going to encourage the ability to use summoning familiars more often as well, I don't know, but magic notepaper is another thing as well. You could have a very big value in your bank if you haven't seen it already. Now with those two, I now think I've covered anything in terms of tradable Treasure Hunter items which are worthwhile checking in your bank. Again, if I've missed them off, drop them in the comment section below because these two items were picked out by you guys in the comment section from last week, so thank you guys so much for that, and I'm sure at some point in the next couple of months we'll do another revisit to these Treasure Hunter items, especially the ones we did in the last video, because I imagine the price will go up even more. So those are going to be all the tradable items. So the ones we also covered in the video last week were Silverhawk Feathers, the gears, which you can kind of use, but they're not really worthwhile using, and then also things like portables as well, and springs. So those were really useful items with the other two. Now, the items I was going to cover originally in this video, which are useful but don't necessarily have a value on them, are going to be the Dwarven tools, the Wicked Hood teleports, and as well as the Spirit of the Battle. Now, I'm going to start with Wicked Hood teleports only because there's been a couple of updates in this week's poll, which is sort of aiming towards the Wicked Hood, and I do think that the teleports on the Wicked Hood are going to vanish some points for the next couple of months as part of the Road to Restoration. A class for Wicked Hood is a daily, even though I don't think it's really as grindy as the others, which then means that these teleports, yes, you won't get them removed, but you do need to utilize them as well. Now, the Wicked Hood is a very powerful item in my opinion. The fact that you can teleport directly to an altar and you have access to essence as well is really good. And these teleport tokens are even nicer on top of that as well. Each teleport token is going to give you 3 teleports directly to an altar. And with the sort of profit you can make from runecrafting now, it just means that you get incredibly quick teleports to the altar as well as quick teleports to the bank as well. You can just make a lot of profit from doing these and using these correctly as well. And not only that, nowadays you don't actually have to craft runes. With the update of 1.10 runecrafting, you can now runecraft weapons and sell them on the Grand Exchange. And this is a brand new way to do runecrafting, and in my opinion as well, it's a very profitable way to do runecrafting. Almost to the point now where I would recommend people to go and runecraft weapons over runecrafting runes. It's going to be a little bit less intensive, it's going to be a little bit more AFK, and you're not banking as often as well because the weapons are almost charged over time as well. But you can make even more profit with your Wicked Hood by doing this as well. Now, that's just the option. You could also go and do things like just straight up craft runes and utilize your Wicked Hood for that and your teleports for that. The only thing the Wicked Hood still doesn't do, and I don't think it will ever do it, it doesn't have teleport directly to the Necromancy altar, but there is one of the Necromancy jewelry which does that for you. I think the bracelet teleports you directly opposite the entrance to the altars. But this is an item you guys need to utilize. The Wicked Hood is so good, and especially if you're looking at the profit of imbuing the magical weapons, which at some point in the near future we may have a look at again because it is an incredible way to train your runecrafting. The Wicked Hood and the Wicked Hood teleports can definitely contribute to that as well. But this is one of those items I would make sure to use before the changes treasure hunter items come, because you can get such a high value of runecrafting XP and also from GP as well. You can train your runecrafting very strongly with this method and also make a huge amount of profit with charging these weapons and also making the runes as well. Making runes nowadays is a lot more profit than what you guys think. Runecrafting is quite commonly one of the best skilling money makers in the game, and as long as you pick your altar correctly, you pick a rune which is in demand, up in price, you can make a lot of profit with this method as well. However, if it was me, I'd focus more on the weapons, but runes are 100% a valid option to go and do as well. Now, that is Wicked Hood Teleport. Again, 1 token is going to be 3 teleports. Really good item. Make sure to go and check your bank for it as well. I didn't think I had as many in my bank as what I did. So when I went to go and check for this video, it turns out I've got 528, which will make me quite a lot of these magical weapons. And depending on when this double XP is going to be announced for this year, we're only going to get 1 more. I think these weapons are going to be an insane price. Same with the bows as well. Anything with the AFK Eternal Magical sort of fletching, runecrafting is going to be pretty big money because it's going to be such good XP. Now, the other one, which I'm going to talk over fairly briefly because we're going to pick it up during 7-day bond slaying, is going to be Spirits of the Battle. Now, for whatever reason, during the Christmas period and the sort of promos before then as well, I got an awful lot of these. You can also get these from Shattered Worlds, but they're quite expensive for what they are. Now, basically what these do, for each one of these Spirits of the Battles, you reset a Slayer Mask back to 0 KC. Now, what this does is basically means that for 1,000 kills, you have a 1 in 10 chance to double drops with Slayer Masks. And you might think that that doesn't sound like overly OP or powerful or stuff, but one which is especially strong for this is the Dagganoth Mask. You can use the Dagganoth Mask at Dagganoth Kings, and that 1 in 10 double drop rate affects ring drops as well. So you can get extra ring drops at Dagganoth Kings for a very good price with using Spirit of the Battle, but this will also be very good at places like Abyssal Beasts, Abyssal Lords. You've also got Ganodermics, Dark Beasts. The Slayer Mask collection is a very strong set of items, and the Spirit of the Battle just means that you've got another chance to go and have that 1 in 10 drop for 1,000 kills of getting double loot. So really, it's just going to make you more GP over the long run. Now, whether this is going to be affected majorly by the Treasure Hunter update, I'm not sure. Spirits of the Battle, one of those which is still in the middle ground, it's still a little bit iffy, but definitely check these out, only because you had such an influx over the past couple of months probably coming into your bank. I know I did. Definitely one to check out. Now, in my opinion, the most OP out of a lot of them is going to be Dwarven tools. Now, Dwarven tools are going to give you access to 5 skilling tools, and these are basically going to do one of 2 things. They are either going to give you double resources with no XP, or you're going to get no resources for double XP. Now, for some skills, this is going to be a lot better than others. So for the Dwarven Chain Axe, again, if you want woodcutting XP extremely quickly, that would be very good. But also with woodcutting as well, currently, the logs are a decent price, so you can actually make a lot of GP with it. The excavator for certain artifacts, I don't know if it works quite that way with the excavator, but it can be very OP. But all of these should be ignored for one item and one item only, the Dwarven Harvester. Now, over the weekend, I'm going to be doing a bit of a focus, kind of like we did with construction last week, on farming, where we're going to look at some farm runs to basically make you a lot of GP on your account over this year, next year, and however many sort of years you guys want to play. The Dwarven Harvester is absolutely massive for farming, because basically what it makes is for every herb you go and harvest, you're going to get double the herb. And if you get a herb which is sort of 8, 9, 10k, it increases your profit so much. And not only that, you can use it on other things as well. You can use it on the starbloom flowers, you can use it on grapevines, you can pretty much use it on any kind of farming patch and make a lot of money for it. If you wanted to convert your Dwarven tools into GP, the harvester is the way to go. If you want it for XP and to buff certain skills, especially any of these skills, that is also a very good way to go as well. But for me, I always choose the harvester for profit because it makes an awful lot of profits. And what I'll be doing over the next couple of days is doing the 2 farming videos, which will sort of highlight to you guys how much sort of profit these harvesters can generate and where you can use them as well. And I promise you guys, they are definitely worth using in farming and for herbs, and especially grapevines as well. Grapevines is a really good spot. Now with the Dwarven tools, you have the large boxes and you have the small ones as well. And then what you can do is put them into one item. I have used the chain axe before to train my woodcutting, and it's an exceptionally good way to go and train woodcutting as well. I used it on the Archon Golden Bamboo. That's how I trained my woodcutting pretty much to 120. But as of the past sort of year or 2, I use it to make so much more GP with herbs. So stick out for that video over the weekend. You'll have a herb part and then also a secondary herb run part where we go and sort of cover some other stuff as well. And yeah, these are some more items which are very valuable from Treasure Hunter. Now these are things you're going to have to use to go and make GP rather than just sell them on a Grand Exchange. They're just things which are going to aid your ability to make some GP, whether that's through runecrafting, Slayer, or from the skilling as well. The methods I've mentioned in the video are how I would train them. So for the Wicked Hood teleports, I would go and imbue magical weapons. For the Spirits of Battle, I would simply just go and do Dagonoth Kings or do some really high level Slayer monsters. And for those large Dwarven toolboxes, I would go and do the Harvesters. Again, the videos for the farming stuff will come on the weekend, so keep an eye out for them. But really good items which won't be around for too much longer. I'm trying to sort of give you guys as much notice as possible, trying to point out what I do as early as possible as well, just so you guys have got time to go and activate them and use them as well, and hopefully make some profit from them. Those harvesters are so good. I know I keep mentioning it, and during the farming video, I'll keep going on about it, but they are so good. However, going to wrap those videos up. Make sure to check out your bank for all the items. The one we mentioned last week, the video will be in the corner and the description for you guys to check out as well. The first 2 items, the note paper as well as the wild cards as well, very much decent GP makers as well, so sell them if you're not going to use them. And yeah, hopefully you guys can have a decent stack of these items in your bank and you can make some profit. But thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed. Let me know anything I've missed off just to cover in a video down the sort of line a couple of months time. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.